Hello and welcome to the Voice Spotlight. Tonight I have someone I haven't seen in years. On last Monday, um, Martin Luther King's birthday, a bunch of the guys from my former job that I retired from in 2012 got together. I was late to the party, but I had fun for those hour that I was there. Someone called us the 10th and Pen gentlemen or the 10th and Pen men, and I really appreciate yeah, you get that because it was a lot of nostalgia there. So tonight we have someone that is versed in financial literacy. I'd like to introduce everybody to Anthony Wilson. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good, Spencer. I'm doing wonderful, man. I can't complain. Everything is good.
That's good. Hey, you look good there, and you look good here. Okay.
I appreciate
So
it.
So what we're going to do before we get into the questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay, well, I am consider myself to be a good family man. Number one, first and foremost. I have four wonderful kids. They all adults, all out the house. Don't get no
Good.
better than that,
That's a good thing.
right? I'm also a person who believe in doing the right thing. Doing right by others, and that's how you receive your blessings.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm a friendly person. I think I'm well respected because if you give good energy, you get receive good energy in return. So it's pretty much who I am. I can go. I mean, I'm quite sure we're gonna go into my career as far as my business, my working at the bureau and everything like that. I don't know if you want me to go into
No,
that
we don't have to talk
when we
about
get
the
there.
bureau, but even at the gathering, you was all about your business. You were uh,
Exactly.
handing out information about what you do. So I got in touch with you because like I say, I know you've always been about your business.
Yeah.
So I got in touch with you, and I thought that the subject matter is something that um, the viewers might find interesting. So we know a little bit about you, and now we'll get into um, the business person. So when I got in touch with you, you used a couple of phrases that are my first two questions. All right, so financial literacy. What
hmm
is financial literacy?
Financial literacy is the understanding how money works through education. A lot of people are limited in what to do with their money. Okay. We basically taught at an early age, to get a good education. And once you finish school, get a job. Once you get a job, open up a checking account, savings account. And that's just the American way. And it's been that way for a long time. But one thing we didn't have is that education. So that's what the literacy part comes in. We got to get into it and make sure if we can teach someone, then we can pass it down to the next generation. So therefore, they can make better decisions with money that we wish we would have made and would have made had we known.
And you said something, but as I go through life, I'm just surprised at the number of people that don't have it,
Mm,
the knowledge of what to do. Um, I am all for creating a savings account and a
mm,
checking account. Uh, and a lot of people have checking accounts, but not savings accounts.
mm.
So I find that, but I'm hoping that though, even on your tap line down here, it says the retirement architect. I'm hoping that we can find something for those that aren't retired. So the second
hmm
tagline that you said is um, building wealth the correct way. So
Yeah,
can you talk to that?
building wealth the right way, the correct way. That way, when I sit down with my clients, that's what we're doing. We're going to build a strong foundation. Again, if your house is not on solid ground, you have problems. So, in order to build wealth the right way, first you have to be educated. You have to understand how to grow your money. See, wealthy people do not put their money in a bank. and your retirement plan or your 401k, TSP, or whatever it is you're using as a resource, it can make you wealthy, but it can make you broke. At the same time,
Right.
history has shown us that market will go up, the market will go down. So my clients are actually learning what their options are, how to navigate and secure your your money. I always say, is it best to be a renter or to own? So if you're not using the right principles and you're using a retirement fund, you're basically renting your gains, right? And if the market goes down, it's like it's okay with us because that's all we know. My clients are owners of their gains, meaning it goes up, it locks in, and it never goes down. And these principle has been around for over 100 years. So that's how I come up with building wealth the right way. It's just clearly understanding what your options are.
Okay. All right. So, as you call yourself the retirement architect, and I'm sure that a couple of folks will be looking at this that are either retired already or going toward retirement.
Yeah.
So, what would you say is the biggest mistake um, people make with their retirement planning?
Well, one of the biggest mistakes I would say is actually believing that you have enough. A lot of people they'll look at 100,000, 200, 300,000, 400,000, and like, okay, I have enough. I'm set for life. Are you really? Are you really? Because you have to. We're living longer, and we don't know what may happen 30 years after retirement, right? Or 10 years after retirement. If you think about your money and if it's not insured and if it's not protected, one thing that can wipe you out is the market. And even if you have your money safe, another thing that can knock you out is not having proper protection, which would be long-term care, which could be life insurance policy. Is certain things that you need to have around to protect your money. So I really think that some people they get very relaxed on and very comfortable without knowing how much they would need. And matter of fact, a lot of people want to keep their money safe, but they're not thinking about is their money growing higher than inflation. I heard you earlier say people have a checking account. Really? 0%. And if they had a savings account, that grows less than 1%. But inflation in the last 20 years has been over 3%. So those two ways, in or CDs, or having a safety net, or having your money protected, it's not even growing higher than the rate of inflation. So that's the problem. So that's one of the lack of knowledge. That's one of the biggest mistakes is thinking you have enough and not having the knowledge to protect your money and understanding is it keeping up with the rate of inflation.
Okay, so retirement planning.
Hmm.
And once you think of retirement, you think of getting toward that.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
where we both worked at, we kind of knew. We kind of knew where our money was going into our thrift savings plan and what it was for.
Hmm.
Um, but that's drummed into us because we worked that federal job.
Yeah.
So, but for the person that isn't working the federal job, now we have city jobs and state jobs and federal jobs, but to the person that's working for another company, let's say a company, and let's say it's a company that does well.
Right.
Um, at what age should people be thinking about their retirement planning if they aren't?
That's a good question. And I will tell you this. I have a couple scenarios to give you. I would say as soon as you start working. Why? Because when I started working, I was around 19 years old and my beard was black.
And I had I hate to say it, but I had a Jerry curl, but
I remember. I remember. But you know what happens? Those 35, 40 years go so fast.
they did.
And if you start your retirement planning, so young people don't like to think about the future, they think about the present. Now, where we are in life, we know that we could go back and think about our beginning salary, how small it was. And if we could have put a little bit away, knowing that yearly, every 2 years, every 3 years, we would receive an increase and we could have added more to the retirement planning.
Right.
So therefore, I would say to anyone, when you start working, get started early. Before the nice cars, right? Before the children come along. Put that in place. And that way, now you are in total control of building wealth. And then when you're in your 20s, 30s, even if you suffer the highs and lows that comes within your retirement plan. And let me add this, Spencer. I know you mentioned TSP, that's government.
Hmm.
However, the 401k or 403, that just tells me as a professional where you work, what you do for a living. Okay, the private sector have a 401k,
Right.
the system, they have a 403. But the thing is, in 1984, the government gave you that plan. They all work the same way. They all had the same guidelines. So it doesn't matter where you work, if it's government, private industry, it doesn't matter. Your plan works the same way.
Okay.
So, yeah, get started early if you can. And if you're sitting there now and you're about 40 years old and you're like, okay, um, first thing I would say is contact and do your research and understand what the matching is. Some companies don't give any matching, but as the government, they give a 5% matching. Some companies give a 6% matching, 3%
Right.
matching, right? Take advantage of that because that is free money. Free money. So you most definitely want to do that. Now they allow you to put up to 15% of your salary in there, right? Now that's a lot of money. So if you started early when you was making 11,000 back in our days, right?
Right. Right. Right.
Started early, that means we had enough time. So when we got into our 50s and six digits and so on, so on, so on, we would have been able to maximize it and put that 50, up to 15% over time. So you just have to get started.
Yeah, people don't know that struggle of making nine and ten and $11,000 a year and traveling from Baltimore to DC to
Yeah,
make it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm trying to decide, did you answer my next question or if it can be elaborated on? So
Okay.
my next question is or would have been, how do you work with people who don't have retirement planning on their minds? So did you answer that or can you elaborate more?
I kind of answered it a little bit. However, let me elaborate on it. I by getting to know them, by sitting and having a general conversation. My job is fairly easy. The hardest thing for me to do, being licensed for over 19 years, while working and getting off of work and helping people. And I would like to, if you can later on, I would like to explain to you even how I got into this, first of all. But by having a conversation with people, they will tell you what they know and what their concerns are. So by listening and just taking that time, 30-minute conversation, I do free consultations. Why do I do that? Because education is important. If I can educate you, you can educate your children and the next generation, right? And that shouldn't cost anything. So then we can start putting a plan together. So that's what I would do. Just have a simple conversation with you and build your confidence.
Okay. So like I said, people don't know our struggle with funds and traveling back and forth and paying for it. Um, but I think then and now people feel overwhelmed when it comes to finances. So
Yeah.
how do you help people that have that feeling of being overwhelmed with their finances?
Well, I meet people where they are. Again, just by slowing down and let's break down the financial struggles because people think financial literacy because they don't understand it. So I'm glad that you asked me that question early on. What is financial literacy? And now they do know it's just having the education and the knowledge. And once you have that, then you can start making real life decisions like, hey, do I have an emergency fund? That's what your savings account should be. Do I have a account set up? Because I always tell my clients, it's going to rain. Will you have an umbrella? So you have to pay yourself first. Those who love in the spiritual world, as myself, we know what comes first, and I don't move from that.
Right.
After that, you have to make yourself a priority. Pay yourself something. I don't care if it's $50. If you just get a calculator and say, I'm going to work 30 years, and you realize you get 26 pays a day, a year, 26 pays, and you just put $50 away, and you do that for 30 years, do that, and you will see how much money you will have. Now, how you grow the money. When my clients sit down with me, we learn how to grow the money because you have to understand the little things, which is rate of return. And if you don't know the rate of return, which is taxes you have to pay and inflation. If inflation is at 3% and you're putting your money in a savings account and it's less than 1%, that's a negative, right? So I always tell my clients the money you have in your bank is for emergency. So if something happened, you need to be able to get to your money right away. All your other money, you need to know where to put it so you can grow it higher than the 3% inflation. And your retirement money, any money you have in your retirement. See, the government set up a plan for us. They understood that we had lack of knowledge. And they allow us to grow our money for 30, 40 years, right? And then when you retire, you live another 30 years. That's 70 years without paying taxes. So
Hmm.
they come around, Uncle Sam, when you retire and say, now we want to tax you. What is your tax bracket? Are you in the 20% tax bracket? Are you in the 30% tax bracket? So if you have 100,000 and you in the 20% tax bracket, you only 20,000 is gone for taxes. Then some of your money didn't keep up with inflation. So I always tell my clients, I don't give you $1 million. One third of it you must take away for taxes and inflation because they knew we didn't think like that. See, that's
Right.
that education.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right. So for lack of education, we shall perish. So that's why they allow us to put the bulk of our money in a tax deferred. Mm-mm. You must use your Roth as well. Now, my clients understand there's other ways of growing your money with whether you pay your taxes or pay it later. You can grow your money, and I call it the stairway to heaven. That's what I call it because your money goes up, level, and these companies been around for over 100 years.
Hmm.
That's powerful in itself, but we don't know about it. These companies been around for over 100 years, so they made it through the wars, they made it through oppression, depression, whatever you're going through in life, right? Your money is secure. They gave you a contract that states that. But in 1984, the government gave you a TSP 401k plan. Why? Because they knew that you was living longer. And you know what they took away, Spencer?
Hmm.
They took away the pension plan
They
because we're
did.
living too long.
They did. They
So
did.
they put the ownership on you and said you will save for your retirement because they also know that when you get older and now you got to make important decisions to how you want to live and what you want to pay for. And will you be able to have the standard of life that you work 35, 40 years? And if you don't do this the right way, that's why it comes in, doing it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, you're going to have some issues and concerns. So I address all of that and make sure that you are taken care of, and your foundation is strong.
So when I was coming up with the questions, and we flew through this, you're doing your job. Um, my pop used to say this, and I've heard it that the younger generation kind of knows that it takes money to make money.
Oh yeah.
And I think that scares folks because you're telling them that they can grow their money,
Hmm.
but they're also thinking in their head, I have to have money to make it grow.
Hmm.
So for that person that is scared to take that leap, scared to what you were saying before, kind of directing some money for your future.
Hmm.
Um, and say it's a 35-year-old that's coming to you and they're saying like, I'm nowhere near retirement. I know I want to have something when I retire, and I have a little, I won't even call it a nest egg. I have a savings account. You know, what can I do? What would you tell that person?
Well, chances are that 35-year-old is like most of my clients and most of my coworkers. That's how I got into this in the first place because I saw what my coworkers went through when it was getting close to retirement time. Back then, Spencer, they didn't even have retirement seminars for the workers. It
Yeah.
wasn't because, as I said, I started in 1985 and they switched over to the retirement plan in 1984.
Hmm.
So that means I'm in the first tier of retirees. So some of the people who were civil service, they converted over to TSP plan. They didn't know what was going on. So by seeing all of that, and they sitting in a unit and complaining, and I'm supposed to do this, and they had all of these questions. It is absolutely ridiculous. And I think 5 years after that, they started having retirement seminars, even for that 35-year-old. So that I would tell that 35-year-old, if whoever you work for, see if they have any information for you so you can familiarize yourself, be educated with the plan that you currently have. Now, if you're sitting down with me, I will tell you that your 401k plan TSP 403, I have something that's better than that, far better than that, and it's tied to a life insurance policy. So, and it comes with a contract where they are ensuring you and guaranteeing you that your money will grow and you will not lose your money ever. Your retirement plan, 401k plan given to you by the government, they give you no guarantees against loss unless you put your money into their security bond or the G fund, which averaged in the last 20 years 2%. And I think I
Yeah.
said about 3 to 4 times that inflation is 3%. So that's minus 1% that you're losing money because it's not
Right.
keeping up with inflation. That's a negative. And you ain't pay your taxes on it, right? And that's the setup on it. So whether you are 20, because it says here the retirement architect, that is basically planning for your life. And that's from the beginning to the end because my clients, once I sit down with them, if they in their 50s or 60s and planning for retirement, they have kids. So I'm talking to them about their kids. I'm telling them, hey, let them sit down with me so we can go over their financial strategy, the money that they have in their bank, right? The money that they have, and I know they have a 401k or TSP, and like the most of us, they're not educated. What about the grandkids? See, grandparents love to put $50 a month on their grandkids. Do you know a life insurance policy only pays out 2% of the time? 2% of the time. For example, I'll be 60 this year. You might be over 60.
Oh, I'm
So
way over
they
60.
do.
I'm
and then
tapping on that next decade.
and then on our job, all our coworkers, most of them had term insurance on the job,
Yeah.
right? So think about it. They collected the first 30 years, because 30-year policy from 1 to 30, they collected that from our parents. Then when we started working from 20 to 50, they collected that. That's 50 years, right? And you go to the mall and you see everybody over 50, 60, 70 years old, they collected all that money if they had it on their job or term or Gerber, whatever it is. Term insurance policies
What are
only
you
pay
talking
out
about Gerber for, man?
because that's a money making business because they know that the parents want to be responsible.
Exactly.
That child, we were children. We were those children, right? And we're older, so they knew they want to take our money. 98% of the time that they write that contract, they know they're not paying out on it. So when I talk to grandparents, I say, hey, you have your baby, $50 a month. A policy will last on that child, including 20 and 30-year-olds, 35-year-olds, up to 120 years old. 120 is better than a whole life. And it averaged 8% interest because we're going to set it up for accumulation value. So the money that you're putting in there is going to pay for your school. It's going to help that 35-year-old to pay for his car using his own money and borrow from himself and pay himself back. So that's an index universal life. A lot of people have not heard about it. You can research it. It's going to cover your life to your 120. So when we do close our eyes, see, that's what the wealthy use. I teach you the secrets of the wealthy. So when we do close our eyes, now you're passing down a death benefit that's going to pay off the home that you own, and you're going to leave generational wealth. The term policy, $500,000, right? And you're paying $40 a month. They know you want to outlive that. So here we're going to set this up. So when you do close your eyes, now you're leaving a generational wealth for the next generation to come. That's one of the products. When we get into the retirement architect, we have another product where we're going to put 100,000, 200, $1 million into, and we're going to grow that for you. We got to get it away from the government. The government done played with you too long. And I used to go to the retirement seminars and ask questions because I knew they couldn't answer because they're not licensed. I'm licensed. I knew the answer. So I would ask, do you give a bonus? There are companies out here that give you a 45% bonus if you move your money from where it is in your retirement or the bank. Some of my clients have 100,000 or more in the checking account or savings account. And I tell them, do you know if you move that, you will get 45%, 45% bonus, which is $45,000 just for moving it where it is and putting it to a place that has no debt. Because the banks will protect your money up to 250,000. Well, these life insurance companies that handles hundreds of thousands of dollars, they have no debt. They can't have no debt. They were regulated by the government, and they protect your money up to 500,000. Again, leave your money in the government that has a over $36 trillion deficit, or move it to a company that's been around for over 100 years, A-rated, have no debt. Give me your bonus to help you pay for those taxes because they know that you was fooled, that you didn't know. So these are what you're gonna learn if you just sit down with me and learn how to build wealth the right way. I keep putting that more into that pot. Now you
Right,
understand?
right,
That's
right. So you brought up grandkids
hmm,
and you brought up Gerber,
yeah,
and I know about Gerber, and we'll just leave it at that.
right, right,
But
right.
at what, yeah, let's use the Gerber model. When
Hmm.
should, let's just say grandparents think about doing something for the grandkids? I know I can't know what Gerber is, and I know at 18 it can double and such like that. So at the age of for your grandkids, at what age of your grandkids should you maybe give some serious thought on getting them something like this? Because, some may not think about it at all.
They
Um,
don't.
but
Don't.
at what age do you think that, and I'm not even going to say responsible grandparents, I'll just say grandparents that even haven't thought about it or
Yeah.
may be thinking about it. At what age should they seriously think about doing something for their grandkids like this?
I I'm gonna give you a really quick answer, but I gotta ask you something first. Do you have grandkids?
Yep,
You do. How many
yep.
do you have?
6.
You know why I asked you that?
Why?
I wanted to see the smile on your face.
Oh, I love them.
So when I sit with grandparents, I just see them light up. And I tell them the best gift, because you're right. Most grandparents are responsible and they love that baby. Lord, they just love them. So guess what? As soon as they get their social security number, my grandkids, before they turned one, had an IUL on them. Why? Because they had their social security. You know what? They young kids have passports too. We didn't have passports when we
Uh,
was one.
that's true. And matter of fact, my passports are expired because I hadn't gone anywhere since working. So, but
And
yeah,
let me tell you this, Spencer. Not only the grandparents, it's the children, it's the parents as well. But I love speaking to the grandparents. Why? Because a lot of them are already retired. They already had their finance together, and they have a little bit more money. And they looking at those babies and saying, "What is the best gift I can give you?" And $50. What you can do is put a policy on your child, and what it's going to do, cover their life to their 120, which means the next generation, the next generation, the next generation is going to have wealth passed down to them. Because I want you to look up this. Anybody who's listening to me, if you heard of Albert Einstein in school, they taught us that he was very intelligent, but they didn't teach us compounding interest. He is the inventor of compounding interest. Well, what is it? It's a formula that comes inside of an IUL that I will sit down and explain it to you. That Albert Einstein shows you how your money doubles every certain period of time. If you sit down with me, you're going to get that education. Imagine if you, let's say that it is 9 years, because it is nine. What I do, your money going to double every 9 years. Just imagine your child is one. Every 9 years, the money that you put in there through compounding interest, once you educate yourself what compounding interest is, it's just a simple formula, meaning your money going to double. That money is going to double every 9 years for that 1 year old or 10 year olds. How many nines they have left? So you put money into it like a savings account and it's going to double. So when they start working, my me, my grandpa, my pop gave me this and explained it to me how it works. So does he or she, did they start with a 401k plan? Yes. But you know what else they do? They also take part of their money and put it into that IUL that you set up because it's better than the 401k government plan, far better. And now they really want to have two pots growing for them. And it's going to be structured the right way because I'm going to teach the grandparents, I'm going to teach the parents to what to do, how to build wealth through compounding interest. And it also applies to your annuities as well. But these are two products that we're talking about: index universal life, which your money will grow, and it's not in the stock market. I will explain to you what an index is. It means you look in the mirror, you see yourself. An index clearly means that the company take on the responsibilities and the risk factor, and they put your portion, which is an index. So it's called the index universal life. So when you look at the stock market, the S&P, you see the S&P going up, fine, you can smile. When you see it go down, yours locked in on the floor. Remember, they give you a contract to say you will never lose because it's an index. It mirrors the stock market. You'll look at the S&P, it goes up, you're going to get a portion of that gain, a good portion. But when it goes down, remember, their money, the company, who has over $171 billion under access management, so they want to manage it and they can make it through the wave of losses. You can't. So they want to sit here and secure your money. So I tell anybody, if you have a life insurance policy and if you have a contract that you believe that your beneficiary will get that money when your eyes close, that's how much confidence you have. And everybody tell me, yeah, I have a life insurance company policy. I say, do you think your beneficiary get the money? Sure. I said, did you know they do something else as far as growing and protecting your money by moving your retirement money? The same company, okay? The same companies that we share, we've been out here for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm.
Your audio dropped out. Do
Oh,
you
well.
remember what you just said for the last minute?
Ooh, for the last minute, I can go
Yeah,
back.
yeah, if you can go back, yeah, because the audio dropped out. It got a little shaky before,
Okay.
but I could hear you then, but that one completely dropped out. So if you can step back for a minute or so.
I want to go back to the most important part. I need my clients to understand that insurance companies don't only protect your life, they grow your money. They give you a contract that says, we will grow it and make sure you never lose it. Your 401k plan given to you by the government will not do what these companies are doing. So if you have a life insurance policy, and you believe that if you were to pass, your death beneficiary will get the money, that means then you do know the power of these life insurance companies. You have confidence in them, so you don't have to question it anymore. You just have to understand that for over 100 years, they have been growing your retirement money. They can do this and have been doing it. Your 401k plan, the money you have in the bank, wherever you have it, you should move it and consider through education and being able to make logical conclusions that's best for you and your family, contact myself so I can put you in contact with these companies that's been around for over 100 years, growing and protecting your money. They also give you a 45% bonus. You may say $45,000 is a lot, not to a billionaire. They have over $171 billion under asset management. So I have clients who get 400 or more $1,000 as a bonus to help pay for the taxes that they saved for 30 years. And they always say, oh, it sounds too good to be true. You're right. But if a person had $1 billion and they gave you 400,000 and you can spend a little bit of it for a period of 10 years and you break it up by 10, that's much of nothing to a person who had $1 billion. So these companies have over $100 billion that they are managing. So all you have to do is understand what's out here and what your options are. And it's not the government plan, it's not putting the money in a savings account, it's not even mutual funds. When you have anybody who have a mutual fund, that's fine, but you're still on that roller coaster. But I need you to call and ask them how much are they charging you each year to manage your money, and that answer will be between 3 to 5% to manage your money, whether you make money or lose money. We don't do that. These companies do not charge you 3 to 5%. Actually, charge you less than 1%. That's just to keep the lights on. And you can go to bed knowing that your money is protected and is growing. And you're building a legacy. And some of these are tied to long-term care, as I mentioned earlier. If you turn on a stream of income for the rest of your life, and now you need to be taken care of in your home or in a facility, a lot of these policies come with a multiplier, which means if you were getting $60,000 a year, now it'll double to 120 because they want you to be taken care of in your home because people live longer.
Hmm.
Okay. And also make sure you put that long-term care in place. You got to have that protection. That's the building a strong foundation. All of this is what you're getting when you sit down with the retirement architect. It's just financial literacy, which is education about how to build wealth the right way.
Okay. So, I always kind of end my spotlights with asking, what do you hope that the viewer takes away from? And you gave a lot of information. And if I'm listening, there are a lot of vehicles that you have or plans that you have
Hmm.
to cover, I ain't gonna say a multitude of things, but you cover a lot of stuff there. But
Yeah.
what do you hope that someone viewing this takes away from it?
I will hope that the viewers listen and take away that it's not too late. That if you have something in place already, I want to learn more because I achieved this amount with little to no education. I want them to know that this guy here, who's talking to you, right? We are good people. We done 30 plus years at a good place.
Yes, we
And we
did.
was committed to it. And we
Yes,
met a
we
lot
were.
of good people.
Yep.
So you have someone who cares about you, who does this for free. The company pays me very well, right? I want you to go through your phone. I want you to share this link to people and say, hey, I need you to listen. It's a lot more that you want to learn from me, right? I also meet people and take them to nice dinners, nice restaurants. In March, I'm doing a free dinner consultation at Ruth Chris at Pikesville, Baltimore, location in Fairfax,
Okay.
Fairfax, Virginia, because I'm located in Virginia now, but I spend a lot of time in Baltimore. So I'm
Ah,
going to do this. That's how important it is to me to get this information. If I can do dinner seminars and have you come out, don't pay for anything. Just sit down and listen to what I have to say. Give me 40 minutes of your time to go through my presentation and knowing that you're going to be in good hands and that you want to be okay. We're going to set you up for generations to come. And if you can get that, we okay.
all right. So you're in Virginia now. So I'm sure sometime after this call, you'll give me some information that I can display.
Yes.
But not all, but a lot of my viewers are here in the Baltimore area.
Sure.
How would you interface with them?
This is easy. I'm licensed in several states.
Okay.
It was easy for me to get on a plane and go and do seminars. People have invited 2, 5, 10 people to their homes. I show up. So I'm licensed in many states. As you well know, Baltimore is just down the street.
Yeah.
Commuting is nothing to me.
Right, right.
Uh,
Well, nothing was to us back in the day, right?
back in the day.
Look, when
So
we
it was,
were here,
yeah,
that Virginia, DC was just party, you know. That's what we
yeah.
did.
So what I'm going to do, Spencer, I'm going to give you two numbers.
Okay.
Webpage, alwfinancialservices.com. You
Okay.
go on
Okay.
alwfinancialservices.com.
All right.
My numbers are there. You can click that. You can get in contact with me. You have my business number there. It starts with 703. You have my personal number start with 443. I prefer that you contact me because my clients becomes like an acquaintance of mine, and we move into the friendship over time because we're going to build that relationship. And I want you to have direct contact. That's what separates ALW Financial Services from a lot of people. You will be able to get in contact with me because I answers the phone. Because one thing I know is you're never going to lose your money. That's
Right.
the first thing.
Right.
You're never going to lose your money, and we're going to grow it. Okay. So I need you to get this information to people in your phone, your coworkers. I will be putting up some brochures soon as far as the dinners. I do that as well. Um, a lot more.
Okay.
So,
So, we've reached the end, and we've it's a lot of information, and it's a lot to digest,
right.
in 45 minutes.
Yes.
So, I will get the information that you pass on to me. I'll display it out. Uh,
Yes,
I know you, so you know I know who you are, and the things that you do, and where your heart is. So
yes.
um, they can ask questions of me, and I'll connect them to you. But I'm hoping that uh, this gets shared enough, and I'm going to ask you to share it with your clients and their clients and their clients and so on. And get some financial literacy because, like you said, you know, some of the things were pointed at us and given to us when we were working. And um, yeah, a lot of people may not have that now. So I thank you for coming on, sir. It was good seeing you then. It was good seeing you now.
Yeah, I really appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to be on your platform to share what we do in the financial world. And
No problem.
it's been a
No
pleasure.
problem at all.
Appreciate you. Yep.
All right. So this is the Voice Spotlight. We're going to sign off for now. After this interview, you will see some contact information for Mr. Wilson. And if he has said anything, and I mean anything because it gave me some food for thought as well, give him a call. Like I said, I know this gentleman. We go way back. And we came from an environment that we did good work for the government, but we were a family. So yeah, so I asked you to give him a call, check him out. He said the first meeting is free, correct?
Every meeting is free. It's going to
Every
take
meeting
at
is free.
least two. It's going
Okay.
to take at least two for me to sit here and because I don't move forward until my clients understand what they're doing through education. So yeah, I
Good.
sit with you. It's free.
All right. So again, this is
Yep.
Anthony Spencer and Anthony Wilson uh, for the Voice Spotlight. We hope that something has been said that will get you to think and maybe plan for your future, whether you're young and old. Anthony Spencer signing off. Have a good evening.